I think. Can you hear me? Give me thumbs up. All right. So if you want to talk, what I'm going to need you to do is unmute yourself, and then you can talk. Cindy and I don't think Mindy was able to make it today because she is dropping her baby off at college this weekend. Such big things. I know we all have big things. And we all are busy, right? We all have stuff that we've got to do today, so I don't want to waste your time. You can see I'm sweating because I barely got here in time to start this. I'll be okay. I'll cool down. So this is a super informal thing that we wanted to do with you guys, and we just wanted to give you an opportunity to ask questions and to get immediate feedback for those questions, whatever they may be. So have at it. Cindy, do you have anything you want to start with by saying? Anything you want to comment on?
No, I'll give like a public service announcement here at the beginning while you guys think of your questions. I am putting together with a lot of you guys who are actually on this page an Instagram event for the end of the month, the last 2 days. So it'll run Friday and Saturday. I will roll out the information for everyone to be able to invite to it, probably on Tuesday. So it'll be kind of a fast turnaround. We're always like learning every time we do a different kind of event, and this is a different kind of event, but I think it's going to be super cool. We have people answering questions about why they joined the business who are in their early 20s primarily. So if you have someone that you want to join your team who's a college student or a recent graduate or even like a high school graduate, this event will be specifically targeted to that age group. And so we're just going to kind of trial and error, learn from what we do, and hopefully get better from it. But I think it's going to be a cool event. And thank you who are on here who are helping with it.
Sorry for the dogs barking. They're going to bark really loud when my son comes home. I'm just giving you an advance warning. So we'll just tolerate that when we get there. I'm in a little apartment, guys. We're doing the best we can. Okay, so let's just start out again. This is super informal. We have no agenda. We wanted to get your faces together. Some of you are power partners. We love how that's going. We love the events that we're seeing. We love the connections that are happening. We see, looking down at the numbers and at the structure, how much that it is stabilizing your businesses to have a power partner. And so that's already to your advantage. Now we're just expanding that a little bit more and giving you a power team. And we want you guys to be a resource for each other. Cindy, Mindy, and I, yes, we are car achievers. Yes, we're a few levels ahead, but we do not know everything. And so we want to learn from you as well. We want to learn how we can be better leaders. So when you bring your questions to us, you're actually helping us lead our team better. So that's kind of the agenda behind this. So whoever wants to start, go for it. I hope some of you have questions, or this is just going to be awkward silence. Remember to unmute yourself if you have a question, because you're muted automatically when you join, just so we don't have background noise and weird stuff.
I have a question.
Okay.
Because I suck at Instagram.
Introduce yourself. I mean, your name, but just go ahead and just say who you are and who's your direct. Give us 2 seconds worth of stuff.
Okay, so I'm Katrina McCaslin. I'm in Edmond, Oklahoma. My power partners are Christy Reese and Heather Boyce and Leanne. And I just lost her last name. Sorry. So I joined a year ago in June. So just since I suck at Instagram, what does an Instagram event look like? How does that compare to Facebook events?
Well, I've only done one with Cindy's direct, so I'll let her tell you.
Oh, yeah. So there's actually no such thing as an Instagram event from like a technical standpoint. So like we have on Facebook, there are events that you can do. Instagram, you create a profile and ask people to follow the profile, and then you post to it during the designated event time. Caitlin's on here now, and she actually ran the event that we did last time. We modeled it after something that Debbie's 2 daughters did. They're in that age group, and we saw them doing something Caitlin did, and she's like, hey, we need to do this. So we ran it in March, and it's called RF March Madness. We're taking all the good things we learned from the March event, and we're trying to we're going to create a beautiful wall of posts with product images and stories from the 20-somethings on our team. And then we're going to use the stories on Instagram to communicate all of the 2 days worth of content. So during the 2 days, we have video clips from people who are answering questions like, why did I join this business? What were some things that held me up leading into the business? What have I learned? What are some of my favorite things? So we're running those in the stories, in addition to some of the things you've probably seen other people do on Instagram stories, like, you know, a 3 or 4 picture post on how to use the roller, or what, you know, someone using the regimen. So those things will be rolling for 2 days. We're also doing giveaways, and we're also doing incentives for sign up. So that's kind of how it works. Hopefully that answers the question.
You're just going to invite people to it. Caitlin, you can throw in anything you have to add to that. You're just going to invite people to, it would be like inviting them to a profile, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Invite them to follow that page like you would invite them to follow a person. And they're just going to see the wall of posts is going to be like a beautiful advertisement of information that they can go through at their own will. And then the stories are going to be live and engaging.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions? That's a good one. How's it going? It's end of the month. We're past convention qualifications. We're coming into convention month. There's going to be a new product release. What are you doing to prepare for that? Where are you at?
This is John. I have a question. So I have several consultants, but they're not consistently hitting their EC mark. What are some good tips or motivators to get those consultants to be more consistent rather than up and down, up and down, up and down?
Okay, well, I can throw out some stuff, and then I'll let Cindy throw out some stuff. One of the things that I tell people with this question is there's 2 parts of this. There's organization and there's relationship. And you sort of have to be hitting both. So the more organized you are, the more that you can be checking just statistically, like where are they, what's going on, look into some details of what could be a sticking point. Are they posting regularly? Are they having events? You know, go through the whole IPA conversation with them. Just look at the statistics and kind of see what you can glean from that. And then the relationship part comes from organization, you know, making them know and understand, which you're so relational. This, I can't even fathom being an issue. Letting them know that you're there for them, letting them know you care about them, letting them know you're a resource for them, and asking them, how can I be of help for you? What would help you most? And a lot of times they kind of know what would help them. And if not, then you can have a conversation that sort of digs into, well, tell me about a day in your business. Tell me about a week in your business, and let them maybe reveal to you where some sticking points could be. Oftentimes, they kind of know, I just have trouble posting. Posts just freak me out. Or I don't like having events. Or I hate talking to strangers. You know, they sort of know what they're already feeling as a stumbling block, and you can help them address that. Does that make sense before Cindy dives into something? Okay.
Yes, perfect sense.
Okay, Cindy, what else do you have to add to that?
I'm going to say, in addition to that, well, number one, and I think we all know this, some people are going to do it and some people aren't. And John, I know you know that. That's the unfortunate part of this business, that even the people who are talented and 100% capable just don't have the inner, you know, they don't have the inner want to, and there's no way we can ever replace that. I think those ideas Donnell gave are perfect for relationally kind of helping someone find their motivation. I have also seen some people in my directs run for small incentives. You know, if I will incentivize them to hit EC by the 20th of the month, and if they do, they get a $20 Amazon gift card. Or, you know, Donnell has given, past couple of months, she's given prizes for people who had certain marks in their business. To me, even though I'm going to do it no matter what, obviously, it makes it really fun for me to run for a little gift or a prize. And so maybe that's something that could shake it up, Jonna, just to give them an extra motivation that's a little smaller prize. The other thing that I would say is maybe linking them up with people if they haven't connected with a power partner who's same level, who's maybe wanting to run, I think that can help, because sometimes I think your sponsor is unapproachable, because you've been doing this a while. Maybe your gals, they're like, well, Jonna's going to be good at this, but I'm not going to be great at it. And when you put them with someone same place in the business, sometimes it helps.
Okay. Those are great tips. Thank you.
Just be careful to not over incentivize. I know I've struggled at that before, where you're not incentivizing everything, and there's just a fine line with incentives on offering just enough but not too much. You want it to be fun, and you want it to develop and accentuate that relationship, but you can also, I've known many consultants, and I've had moments of getting in a trap where you feel like you almost train your team that they have to have incentives to do anything. So there's a fine line in that. So I don't necessarily do it every month. I do it on important months, or I do it just haphazardly or randomly. You just have to find, and you have to set your own budget. What can you do? $5 Starbucks card. It's not like it takes a lot. It's just really your consultants want to see you're there for them, and you're watching them, and you've got their back, and you're cheering them on is a lot of it. Cindy shouts out her consultants every time they EC. She shouts them out on her direct thread. I suck at that. I'm not going to ever do that. I'm not watching the second that they EC. She's way more on top of that than I am. So that's not how I do it. I check in more individually, or I, just do sort of the bigger things as they happen. And at the end of the month, kind of give a go through of where they are. So, you kind of have to fit it to your personality as well.
Okay. Now, the Instagram event, is that going to be open weekend, and our directs can also invite to that as well?
Yes. Yeah, that'll be the whole big team. Like anyone Donnell's downline and on can add to that.
Okay, great.
Good questions. Anybody else? Or if you have
Cindy.
That's worked for you, you can throw into that as well. Caitlin, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to throw in that it was about a year ago, Cindy did a challenge where we had to get points, and the points were based on IPA activities, and it was something that I really enjoyed, and I've done with my team. So like there was a point if you did a live event, or if you reached out to a certain number of people, or you made a dream team list. And so I was like incentivizing us to work our IPA, and then if you got a certain number of points total, then you got like a gift card or something like that. But I felt like it encouraged your daily IPA versus just trying to get to the end goal.
Yeah. Remember, we've talked about this. That's a good point, Caitlin, on Future 5's, that you really want to drive down into the depth of your organization, that it's not just about that end of the month PSQV, that's not really as controllable, remember, as the daily work that we can put in. That's what's controllable. And you want to drill that into your team, that they need to be in charge of and be focusing on that IPA, the things that they can absolutely do without whatever's happening in the world. Anybody else? Other questions? Comments, information? Tell us something good going on.
Hey, Kanda, I think you're driving. I can't see who's talking right now. This is Cindy, but Kanda, I think you had a question on messaging, and I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but if you remember, that one might be good to ask here.
Well, I wish I could remember, but I don't. I'm sure it was great at the time. I don't know. I'm sorry. I do have a question. I do have a question though. So I'm trying to think about like how we differentiate ourselves, and particularly in when you don't know people well, because I'm not out in the community. I mean, I live out in the middle of nowhere, and then I travel everywhere. So I'm trying to think about how to make really like what connections look like with people when you're all over the place like I am. So it's not a question so much, I guess, as a statement, but I'm just trying to think of ideas of how to best use my time when I'm in Oklahoma to connect with people.
Yeah. I'm learning new things that, like, this is something I've been doing that I enjoy. I keep samples in my car, and I a few weeks ago, I went in TJ Maxx. This is an example. And the lady that checked me out was absolutely just a beautiful human being. She was so happy. She just had light shining from her face. I mean, she was just one of those people that you're like, I am so grateful that I ran into you today. Honestly, in the moment that I was with her, I didn't think about RF. I was like stressed. I was in a hurry. I was just literally absorbing how wonderful she was and thinking, oh my gosh, she's amazing. I just love this girl. I wish I could be her friend. It was just one of those interactions. I asked her name. We just had some chit chat. I left there, got in my car, got all the way home, and I'm thinking, why didn't I give her a sample? Why didn't I talk to her about it? Like, I missed it in the moment. And so I've been back in TJ Maxx so many times in the last 2 weeks trying to catch her. It's like a weird stalker. I bought more things from TJ Maxx in the last 2 weeks than I should have. But I finally ran, and I carried those samples in, and finally, last time I went through the line, and I just told her, I said, I met you a couple weeks ago, and when you checked me out, I just want you to know you made my day. And you have something that not a lot of people have. I would love to take you to lunch or coffee to get to know you a little better. I gave her my sample, my card, and hope something comes from that now. I don't have anything that's happened so far, but the same day, I went in to get something out of Bath and Body Works, and I ran into somebody who was kind of the same way, but I didn't let that moment get me by. I immediately went out to my car, immediately went back in, told her, you know what, same thing, like truly what you're doing is a gift. Like, you don't have to be this awesome at your job, and you are, and I'm looking for people like you to work with and be friends with. Like, I would love to take you out to lunch or coffee. And so they both were just like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. It didn't feel weird. It just felt like me encouraging them, and hopefully it's going to lead to something. Again, this was just a couple of days ago, so it hasn't yet, but I'm trying to be much more intentional about those moments, those wild card moments. Anybody else have anything that you're doing to kind of stand out or meet people in unconventional ways that's working for you?
Kanda, I'm not sure how close, I know you're not very close to town, but I'm not sure if you're close enough to have a gym. You have a gym you can get to? Probably not. Probably.
No, it's one of those. I have dogs that if they're not walked every day, they're home, it's a big problem. Everyone. So
Yeah.
so gyms are tricky. I mean, we don't even have it's pretty remote out here. I mean, we don't have loads of restaurants. I go to the grocery store maybe once in a while when I'm home. It's just meeting people is a challenge. I mean, I am starting up I was doing a potluck last year, and I'm starting that back up because summer's great. So we're starting the potlucks back up, and people come out for those. And it's like Don L said, it's like completely, it's not business. It's not, all about RF. I may have take samples in my bathroom, and that's kind of it.
Yeah. I think that's great. If Mindy was on here, she could share. She does a really good job of meeting people who have similar interests virtually. And so she's connected with a lot of people all over the country based on a connection to Haiti or adoption. And so she's really been able to leverage Facebook groups. I think Kanda, for you, there may be some LinkedIn, professional groups that would be something that you could maybe tag into. I love what you're saying about the potluck too, just getting people together.
Anything
and
else?
I've seen Hannah with her book clubs do really good. Sorry, Donna.
No, I was just saying, anything around food. Yeah, I thought of Tina and her book clubs. That's another great idea. Just, pushing yourself outside. Here they go, the dogs, sorry. Pushing yourself outside of your comfort zones and trying new things, being a part of new groups, and going new places. Just watch, because it's so easy as humans to kind of do your 3-mile circle every day. You have your one grocery store, you have your one maybe gym and your pickup line, and that's it. And so just sort of think outside the box of that and challenge yourself. I'm going to go to a new place today. I'm going to go to a new store, a new restaurant. And it can be really fun and exciting. And don't be afraid to talk to strangers. That's the other thing, is really striking up conversation with people. And don't be weird about it. It is important that we have a relationship first with people, And then from doing that, people see that, and then you will have those random reach outs that say, hey, I need to buy something. And you really don't know them from Adam. They've just been following you and they've gotten that vibe from you. And so sometimes people will just, all of a sudden become a customer or consultant. But usually relationships first. That's just a way to build a strong business.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm trying to work on, and I'm not that approachable in myself, and I don't intend it. It's a vibe that I've got to figure out how to not have, and I don't know how to not have it.
Yeah.
I was going to say something real quick. I did a meetup group, and I did it for about 3 weeks. So you actually pay for it. I think it's like, if you start the group yourself and host it, it's $14.99 a month. You get to put exactly what your interests are, what you're looking for. You can put like networking or just, meeting for coffee. So I have a kind of funny story because I actually did it, but I didn't make it specific enough. So I got there and 3 girls showed up, and not against anybody, but 2 were atheists and 1 was a Muslim. So it was a very interesting conversation. So I spent 2 hours with them talking about things like that. But what was so cool about it was talk about this business getting you out of your comfort zones. And people said that all the time when I would listen to this, and I thought they were kind of not lying, but maybe trying to sell the business. But it is so true. I mean, I never would have been in a situation like that.
Yeah.
So I do think like with like Canada, if you're kind of in a remote area, the meetup is good because it's a social kind of thing. You can do it. It's an app. And so you could even meet up at a local coffee shop or something, maybe.
I've never tried that. That's new.
Yeah.
I'll have to investigate that one.
Mm-hmm. We have like 3 in Stillwater right now, but I was like the only networking one. Mm-hmm. So I did close it because I'm actually doing some other things, but it's a cool concept.
Meetup is what Amanda Milliman has used so effectively in Omaha. And you can attend meetup groups or you can host them yourself, either one.
Right.
It's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
This is good stuff, guys. Anything else you want to ask or talk about or share that you've been doing that's effective, or if this has been an awesome month and you have a situation that happened that you want to let the rest of the group know? How many of you are going to convention? Just like, let me see your hands up. Going to convention. Okay. Make sure that your teams, if you're not going, that one really important thing to do that I just want to talk about convention for a few minutes here, and then you can bring more questions in. If you're going to a convention, be prepared if you've never been. It's a little like, you kind of feel like the fire hydrant, you're just swallowing it all so fast and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to process it all, because there's so much that you're going to see and be a part of and people you're going to meet. It's awesome. But it's just much bigger. It was surprising to me what a big deal that it was. It's awesome. It's so much fun. Be ready to be social and to be tired, because you're going to go all day, and you're going to learn until your brain hurts. It's awesome. But if you're not going physically, make sure that you are watching virtually. I mean, that's just a part of running your business at this point. If you don't have a virtual at this level, you're not doing your business justice or your team, and you're really saying something by not having that. If you have to attend virtually, invite your team to watch with you. Make a big watch event. Rent some place or go to some restaurant. I don't know. Just do something fantastically fun that is wrapped around convention, where you are pointing your team to it. Talk about it. Ask them questions about it. Get them engaged in it. Offer incentives around it. Whatever you have to do, make sure your team is engaged with at least virtual if they're not attending physically. Mm-hmm. Any questions about convention or anything else? Or Cindy, do you have anything else to add to that?
No, nothing right now. I just want to see, here's a funny, non-serious question. Who has their boots for convention?
Mm-mm.
Mine are packed. I don't know where they are.
Mm-mm.
Brooke says no.
I don't.
You don't have to have boots, but I'm bringing mine.
Y'all need to help me out with the clothing. I have a pair of boots. Got that good.
Got that.
No idea what I'm going to wear the whole time.
Just kind of business casual. I mean, you're with a bunch of other consultants, but you are going to run into people who work around Nashville, people who are in the restaurants, people who are in the convention center, and you never know when the conversation can strike up. You want to be the one that isn't in your sweatpants, you know, so for sure, we're at least business casual, and I mean casual, like comfortable. You're going to walk so much. Do not wear high heels or something that's going to hurt your feet, or you will regret it. If you're going to, you know, carry heels and carry the other shoes in your bag or something, a portable phone charger is one of the most important things that you can have on you. Your phone will die many times throughout the day. So portable phone charger is critical. And comfortable shoes, critical. Those are the main things. And then just business casual. And then there's going to be some fun events, and they'll tell you what the attire is. But even within that, guys, you don't have to spend a lot of money on clothes. Like, don't do it. Don't worry about it. Cindy shops at Goodwill for her. She cracks me up, and then she modifies them with her sewing machine. I can't do a sewing machine. So sometimes I borrowed people's clothes. I've used my daughter's stuff. My goal is to spend as little as possible on convention. Only if I'm going across the stage do I even worry about it a little bit usually. So just, you know, feel good. Something you feel good in, no matter what that is. Like, you want to feel confident, and you want to feel comfortable, and you want something you're going to feel good in. If you don't ever wear a dress, don't wear a dress. Wear something that's more like pantsuit or something. You know, I don't know. That's an example.
I will say there will be a ton of people in jeans. There'll be people in dressy shorts. You will see, I've learned over the years, like every year my shoes get more comfortable. So I started out wearing like wedge heels and just sucking it up and like blistering my feet. And so now you will see me this year probably in cutesy kind of dresses with cutesy tennis shoes. You know, that's going to be what I'm going to wear. I will definitely have a backpack on at all times, because like you'll be a long ways from where you're staying. So you're going to want to have your food, your portable charger, your phone, your water. Food would be another thing. Like, they will have you going back and forth from sessions. And so food is critical. I'm going to say, don't worry about clothes, worry about food. You will find yourself like going from one session to the next, and they will have small like little kiosks where you can buy sandwiches and water and drinks that they usually have really long lines. So you'll be super happy with yourself if you have something that you could eat for like lunch in your bag, you know, like hummus cups or granola bars or packages of nuts. You'll also save money by doing that, because that can be like your meal for the day. And then in the evening, you can spend a little more maybe on a dinner that we would go out to. Dillard's clearance rack has a ton of really cheap dresses right now, just by the way. If you're wanting to buy something new and not spend more than like $15 or $20, that's a really good place to do it.
I love the wealth of information from technical to clothing. This is what we're about. This is what we do. We're going to start having Zoom talks. The goal is at least once a month, and we want you to generate what the content of those are. We want to know where you are. We want to know how to meet you where you are and how to help you the most. So, you know, when you see us, you'll have more warning next time, promise. Sorry about that, guys. But in the future, as you see those posted, make sure that you are helping us know what you need to hear. We don't want to waste your time. We want you to have information that is pertinent and helpful to where you are in your business. Any other questions? I don't want us to stay on here longer than we have to, but if you have a question, this is the time to ask it.
I have like a statement more than a question, or just a struggle of mine. I guess I feel like it's because I'm younger in this business that I see people who are older able to go back to generate names for people to reach out to. So from different networks that they've been in throughout life. But for me, I find it a struggle to have enough like quantity of people to message, which I've kind of flipped it and tried to see it as a positive, as like, well, I have this gift in my back pocket that as I go through life and, you know, get into these different networks, whenever I get married and have kids and all that, that you know, I have something to share as I go through life. But as far as like using the like name generator, I can't remember what it is, but to go back on lists, it's like I just graduated college. So, I mean, it's like high school and college. And I am trying to do some things, like I just joined a program where I'll mentor someone at OSU. So I'm trying to join some more things to meet new people, and it to be things that I enjoy anyway. So it's not necessarily for RNF, but I want to start meeting other people. But I just am finding I'm struggling with who to message.
Yeah. Cindy can touch on this because I mean we kind of do things the same way, but we do things very differently because of our personality as well. I have printed out my Facebook list, and I have now over 5,000 friends because I add people every single day. If you're not adding people every single day to your friends list, you're missing out. And it could be just random people that you for example, like the thing that I do is I make sure that there's at least 10 friends in common, and I look to see if there's a real connection. Like, oh yeah, they go to Life Church. I saw them at the baseball game every time my son played, or whatever it is, you know, where there's some real-ish kind of connection there. And I just add them to the list, and I don't message them right away. And so I go through my whole I have over 5,000 friends now, Facebook list, and I keep going back through it because people's lives change. And so I re-message them. I don't message people over and over and over and over. I give months in between those messages usually, unless I feel like, oh, I should message them because of that. You know, the Lord is the guide of my business. I'm just telling you, success comes from him. So sometimes when I feel, obviously, him telling me to do something different that's different than my norm, then I will, clearly. But for the most regular part, I just go through and I date when I message them, and then I go back and I date when I message them again. And most of the time, it takes me so long to get through all of those that it's been quite a while by the time I come back up. If they have any kind of curiosity or interest at all, then I keep them on a separate list in my calendar that reminds me to message them back. And so that's kind of how I've never ran out that way because I keep adding people to that. I know you're more the Instagram world than the Facebook world. You're younger, so there's some things that you're going to have to teach us as you navigate that. But that's worked really well for me. And let me just touch on messaging here really quickly. And then Cindy, don't forget her question. On messaging, I'm just super upfront. Most of my messages to the people that I don't have a strong connection with are really frank and upfront. Like they're just a random Life Church connection, but I've met them, but I don't really know them. I will say, hey, I am at the Life Church campus. I worked there for 2 years. I own my own skincare business. Would you like to hear a brief bit about it? And then they feel compelled to answer that question, like in a question. So it's like 2 sentences. They say yes or they say no. I don't go into, because I think that the direct sales world has lost when you go into this spiel and you pretend like you're really curious about their life, and then literally there's almost that automatic, in 2 messages, they're going to ask you about joining their business. I just like to be really upfront with people. And if we don't already have a relationship, and just say, hey, this is what I'm doing. And almost always what's so interesting is they know it's RF. And they'll answer back almost always with that little message. I've had more feedback, more answers back with that 2-sentence thing than I've had any other message I've ever sent. And they will say, no, thank you. I've already tried Rodan & Fields, and I already have a consultant. Or they always refer to the name of it, and I don't ever even say Rodan & Fields. That's what's so curious to me about it. Like they've seen it, or they investigate, and they know just enough to know what skincare business I'm even talking about. So that's a long answer to your short question. Cindy, do you have anything else to add into meeting people and?
No, I mean, I think Caitlin and I have discussed this individually before, and I think she's definitely doing the things that are the obvious things, like she's joining a gym, she's taking advantage of those wild card moments when she travels, and I think she understands, like, we all have unique sort of hindrances and unique gifts in our ability to do the business well. So if you're 40 something like I am, you have a huge network of old people to reach out to who you've known for a long time. But you have 3 kids going crazy, you don't have a ton of time, you know, to be able to go out and actively meet people in the community. If you're in your 20s and maybe you're not married and don't have kids, you don't have a ton of people, but you have the ability to network more in the evenings. So I think we all just kind of have to leverage what we, the opportunities we have and the unique giftings that we have.
Yeah. And own the obstacles and just,
Uh-huh.
oh my goodness, these dogs.
I mean, I think Caitlin's right. It's very true. She does not have as many people that she can pull from, but she understands Instagram and I don't. So,
well, I happen to know one of your customers that you have, Caitlin. I've talked to for a very long time, and she joined you and not me, and you don't know it, and it doesn't matter who it is, but you have something that attracted her, and she's way more my age than she is yours. So we never know.
What did I do?
Oh, it's not bad. I'm just saying someone signed up with you as a customer, which is awesome. But I've had lots of conversations with her, not really about Rodan and Fields. We just connect a lot in the community, and she happily bought from you, which is great. I'm just saying, even if they're a network or even if they're older or not in your thing, there's something that you're appealing to and attracting no one else in our community did, which is awesome. So to be confident in that what you have is something people will want that's different than what I have that people will want. Anybody else? Unmute yourself if you have a question. Deborah, are you having a question? I can't tell. No. No. Okay. All right, guys. Cindy, do you have anything else? Okay. Leverage end of the month. Leverage the incentives that are being offered. Game changers in that pack. The 100 no's that Jen is having everyone do is such a great thing. The last couple of days of the month, the last week of the month, challenge yourself to do 100 to 200 messages. It feels insane, but it's crazy what comes from that. I've been trying to do that the last several months. It's been really effective to start up conversations. And don't get uncomfortable when those conversations take a while and maybe even months and months, but you've gotten the ball rolling, and that's what's important.
Is 100 no's 100 no's, or can it be 100 ignores? I mean, is it the same kind of thing?
I think an ignore is a no. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I would consider
Hey,
it.
Darnell,
Yes.
can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So for me, I thought it was really a great thing to get people, especially with me having friends in the military community, thought it was really a great thing for me to get people throughout, different states and disperse because, it helped grow my downline base. And I'm finding that I have these people in different states, and I seem to struggle more with keeping those folks busy, especially when I find that they're full-time and they are military. So, I know what they're going through when they're working and then trying to come home, and or those ladies who are full-time doing in the same field like HR with me, and they come home to kids and kids activities and they're running. I know the 3-ways, me and Anita, we've talked about that and doing 3-way with some of these folks. And then I get some that just don't want to push anymore. I'm going to do it, and they haven't quit, so they're still out there. But any advice for me on how to get them going? I don't have the leverage to jump on a plane and go travel everywhere because, one, my son is 13, and now my husband's going to have surgery, so there's going to be some more downtime here soon. But any suggestions for me? I kind of got into a low, downward spiral, feeling like ugh.
We always say you got to be recruiting. It is much easier to give birth than resurrect a dead person, and so keep giving birth. keep having babies that you're training, because you're gonna have people quit. You're gonna have people fall off. And I will tell you, I think the name of the game is you meet people where they are, and if they want to work, you're running alongside of them. You're helping them, and if they don't, I don't mean you're like, well, forget you. It's not a bad attitude. It's just you have to be, God has called you to steward your time and your day. And if you're spending all your time and all your day trying to motivate someone to work who isn't wanting to work, you're doing an injustice to your business and what he's called you to do. And so when someone isn't wanting to work, I'm not saying don't be friends with them. If you're close friends with them, then stop thinking about friends things. I have friends, I have family members who've decided they don't really want to work the business. So I don't talk to them about RF. I keep them on the team pages. They see everything. I tag them every single time still. They are in all the message threads. They see it all. They are kept informed, but I'm not forcing them to work. I'm letting them do what they want to do. That's their business. That's up to them. But what's happened is one or two of those who initially only wanted the discount now are running hard, and they're going for it. And it's real exciting to see. Others, they just stay radio silent. And every now and then I check on them as a human, hey, I just want to know how I can be praying for you. I don't bring up RF. I just want to know if there's anything I can do for you. I've had one consultant who's been radio silent for like a year. This month, I'm just going through like I always go through, and I'm like, there's 450 in her PSQV. What the heck? So I reach out to her and I'm like, hey, great month. I don't know what's going on, but if you need my help, if you need help with an incentive, or if there's anything you need, I'm here. And then I've left her alone.
Got lost you.
Are you back? And then the other thing that Leanne uses so effectively is Marco Polo with her team. It's an app. I mean, I think you've had that with Nita before. Marco Polo is a great way she connects with her team that's kind of spread out and not all in her community. The connection to your directs is just critical. I keep the direct thread. Cindy keeps a direct thread. Of course, we keep the direct group page. But that connection to the relationship, and then they've got to just decide. Any other comments on that?
I don't know if Deborah's back yet, but I did notice in the Dream Team training from last Sunday, one thing that Mackenzie said that really sparked growth in her team was whenever there ended up being a sense of community. And I don't think you have to be physically present with each other to have that kind of community. So I think Donna is right on. Like, we have to have community in our team, and that builds momentum. And that can either take place virtually, like Marco Polo. It could take place by us doing team events. If we're close to the same city, we're getting together and doing big events where people are seeing, we're having fun, people are joining us. I just think that that's something that we forget to focus on that can bring the most momentum, is the community that we have together, that we forget as a gift.
That's why we're doing this, is we want you guys to be a community with each other and to be a resource with each other. We want to see you face-to-face. There's something different about face-to-face engagement when we can have even though it's virtual, then, just a message thread sometimes, hearing your voice and seeing your faces kind of does it from the heart. Good questions, guys. Anybody else have a question or comment?
I don't really have a question. I'm sure I do have a lot of questions, but I couldn't think of anything right off the top of my head. But I think I have the hardest time because I feel like, Dina, she's my sponsor. She lives maybe, 45 minutes away. Otherwise, I'm kind of alone. So that's why I think these groups are good for me, is because I'm connecting with you guys. But then I need that motivation, since I feel like I'm alone, even though I know I'm not alone. But you know what I mean? Like for events, I'm super bad at events because it would be really fun to do them with somebody. But, I don't really have anybody to do them with, per se. Like I watch you guys, and some of you guys get together, and I'm like, oh, I think I should move. No.
No.
Anyways, it's not really a question, but
I've had directs in different areas that there's nothing going on. And, us here in Stillwater, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, or if you've even been in this kind of central area, that's so hard to imagine because there's so much RF stuff everywhere. But there are pockets where it is not heard of. It is just not anywhere. And so when you're near a pocket like that, you have to kind of create your own community of your own directs and your own customers as they join you, but also engaging, more importantly for you than anyone else, is in these types of things when they're provided. and listening to training, and you have to be really disciplined about that. And I can imagine that that's it's got to be a different ball game when there's not a lot going on around you. But they do post where there's different RF events, and even if you have to travel up to 3 hours to some of those central events that are hosted in places, I would say invest the time and money to do it, because it'll be motivating and encouraging for you to do that. And it'll show your network that you're serious about your job as well, and definitely post about it when you do it. So yeah. And I love knowing that, because you know what? I can be more aware of that for you and pray for you specifically for those areas. That's the other thing is, for this team, we're so fortunate that, definitely not a requirement to be faith-based to be a part of this, but I think that this team is blessed because that happens to be the case. The majority of people are. And I love knowing things that I can pray for. When I see your name, I go down that long list of names of consultants. And when I see your name, that's what I'm going to pray for you. So I appreciate you just saying that so I can be aware of that.
Debbie, I just want to say that I've loved seeing your face and seeing your participation. Like, it's fun to get to know you as a person and how you run your business, and what you comment and what you say. Like, I feel community with you because of the engagement I see on your part. Absolutely. And so I just think that's pretty awesome. I just want to say shout out, great job for being present and going after what you want. And I think that means, a huge part of why we're doing Future 5's is because we're creating the kind of community we want to see you guys turn around and create on your team. Yeah. Right. And so, like, all of you guys are going to take what we're doing here, and you're going to turn around and create that same community on your team and replicate that on down. So I have no doubt you and the other leaders on this page are going to do that.
Exactly.
Be praying that you recruit that one super fun, awesome person in your area to do events with, though, because that is fun.
Hey, anyone?
Yes, I will. Thank you, guys.
We love having you. I agree with Cindy. I feel like I've gotten to know you because of this group. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Anyone else? Oh, Leanne, you're muted. I see your lips moving. You got to unmute it. If you scroll at the bottom on the left side, there's a microphone of your screen. Let me see if I can unmute you. Oh, I unmuted you, Leanne. There you go.
Hey, I just want to speak to something that has been happening over the last few months for me, and that is a transition of where I used to separate my RNF business from me. Mm-hmm. I had like my heart's desire of what I thought my purpose was in this world. And what's beautiful is when I'm seeing this organic relationship happen, where I'm not feeling like I have to separate my business from my heart. Yeah. Does that make sense? So now that I can have these confident interactions, not feel like I'm pushing a business or pushing a product on somebody. It's authentically become what I believe in. But it's taken, even though, I think our belief in anything, it's a process. And as we keep working our business, and as we keep growing, and as we keep training, and as we keep doing it scared, then all of a sudden you realize, I just want to be kind to that person. Yeah. And I want to bless them with a mini facial. And I want to say, hey, do you want to have coffee? Hey, do you want to go out for lunch? And it's just making ourselves in a place where we are authentic. So people aren't looking at us and saying, oh, you just want a sale, or you just want this. You have an ulterior motive. No, I genuinely care about you. And because I care about you, I want to share this gift with you. So this inner confidence from within, I just kind of feel like my journey is like, I've spent a lot of time building this foundation because there was so many things I needed to work through. But I feel like there is a preparation. It's the momentum. It's the community. It's the consistency. Can I share what you shared with me, Donnell, this month?
Sure. I'm not
my little talk.
Sure what it is, but
sure. I was paralyzed this month. Last month was great. This month, I kind of just got into a little bit of a funk. And so I reached out to Donnell and I said, what do I do? And it was just so beautiful because she said, spend time with God, pray, worship, and do it anyways. And that was just what I needed. That just get back up. You've been blessed with a new day, and do it. Do your IPA, consistently post. And you know what's crazy is the more you do it, like last week when I went to fill out my little form, I didn't think I had any posts. And then just to go and count, and I was like, oh my goodness, I had 7 lifestyle and 7 are now. You know, and so sometimes we overthink it and we let that stop us.
So good.
But we don't need to. It's good. It's really good.
So good.
It's really good.
Thank you for
sharing.
Yeah.
You can unmute me now.
It's, you know, the IPA, I've compared it to marriage before. You don't wake up every single day going, I'm so in love with my husband. Let me see all the ways I could show love to him. I mean, but you love him, right? But it doesn't feel like those first initial butterflies in your stomach, but you keep being married and you keep doing the work of the marriage, right? Like that's my example of IPA. Same thing. You're not going to wake up feeling like, oh, I'm so in love with this business every single day. And I can't wait to do my IPA just like with our kids. I can't wait to make my kids lunches. I don't wake up feeling that way, guys, but I make my kids lunches and have them make their lunches with me every single day, right? And it's the same thing. IPA is a part of life, and it's a part of the gift. So I don't love making my kids lunches, but I love my kids. And I love that I am able to provide them lunches and that they're fortunate enough to get to eat all these things. Same thing. I don't love necessarily doing IPA, but I love what the IPA provides for my life. I love how the IPA connects me to people that I need in my life, that I'm so blessed. Every single one of your faces I have because I did my IPA. That's why. I have all of you because I did it every single day when I didn't feel like it and when I did feel like it. And so if that's motivation for you, sometimes we get in our head like we have to feel it or we're just so like excited about it. And that's not always true. It's work, guys. This is work, but it brings so much joy and pleasure and just blessings beyond compare if we'll do the work, right? It's not hard work, but you have to work hard.
Yeah.
Anybody else? So good, Leanne. Thank you so much. We needed that today. All right. I don't want to waste your time. We're right at an hour. We're 6 minutes short of an hour, so yay us. Look at us being concise. We will do this once a month, and we'll get better at it. I would like for you to think of your questions ahead of time so we don't have pauses and we can be super efficient. We may provide topics of what we want to talk about and then also leave room for you to ask any questions that you might have as well. And we just want to hear your voice and connect your voice to your face and get to know each other a little bit. So that's part of why we want to do this. Anything else you want to say, Cindy Lou?
Yeah, just the final thing is the other idea we're exploring in addition to a Zoom opportunity once a month is a way to be able to get on the phone with you guys occasionally. Mindy and Donnell and I had the opportunity to get on the phone with a few people in the big downline over the course of over the summer, really. And it was so life-giving to us, and the people we talked to said the same. We were able to pray with people, and we would like to create a system for doing that. So, you know, just like all good systems, it's going to take a little while for us to work it out and figure out how to do that and make it available. But we're working on how to make that available so that we could jump on the phone with Debbie and be like, hey, Debbie, what's up in your world? How can we help you? How can we pray? You know, give it a set amount of time and then be able to talk to someone else the next week. So look for that in the coming couple of weeks.
Do you feel, you can nod yes or no, is Sunday afternoons kind of an okay time frame to look at, kind of the 3 o'clock mark? Is that working for most people, do you think? Okay. We'll also do some exploration of best time frames. I know for me, the week is usually insane, and this is maybe my only breath to do something like this, but I can try to make something work if there's a better time. Okay, guys, love you so much. I will see most of you at convention, and that is like one of my favorite parts of convention is I get to see your faces there in person, so I cannot wait for that. And those of you who don't get to come, I want you to start planning on coming for next year. Start right now. Open up an account, whatever you got to do, put some money back, and plan on going because it is so good. But definitely virtual is an amazing platform for those of you who can't physically get there. So make sure that you're doing that. All right, love you much. I'm ending the meeting, and I'm going to upload this to the group just so everybody can have the benefit of us talking. Bye, guys. Have a great Sunday.
Bye.